So nowadays, every modern application, whether it's a weather app, payment systems that we uses in our daily life, or any AI tool, all uses APIs to communicate. And in this video tutorial, we are going to learn how to make your first API call in Python step by step. So what we are going to cover in this video, we are going to cover what is an API, we are going to understand the request library in Python, and then we are going to create our first API call using Python. So let's quickly understand what an API actually is. So API stands for Application Program Interface. It allows two applications to communicate with one another. You can consider this as a messenger that allows two different software programs to talk to each other or to communicate with each other. So for example, you have a weather app that shows temperature data. It actually requesting the information from a weather API. Now let's understand about the request library in Python. So in Python, one of the easiest ways to call an API is by using the request library. Let me show you an example first. So I am moving to my Visual Studio Code. Here I have already created one virtual environment which is named as app.env. So if I do pip freeze, I will show you I have not installed anything yet in this virtual environment. Now request is a third-party Python package that we have to install using pip first. So I'm going to write pip install request and hit enter. By using this pip command, we are installing the request package in our virtual environment. If now I do pip freeze, it should show the request library, and it is also showing some other packages which are dependencies of request library. And now let's make our first API request. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new file. Let's name it as app.py. In this Python file, what I'm going to do, first we are going to import the request package. Okay, after request, the easiest way to make an API call is by using request.get. So let me first take a variable which is a response variable, and I'm going to use request.get, and inside the get method we need to pass the URL. Now for this demo, I'm going to use one free to use API URL which is JSON placeholder, and I'm using the users API which is going to return dummy 10 user data for testing basically. So we have stored the result of request.get in our response variable. Let's try to print this response variable now. And I will come to my terminal and let's run this file, python app.py. Now here in the result you can see we got response 200. Here 200 means the request was successful, and here this response is a response object. So right now we are only seeing a response object. Next, let's extract the actual data. To extract the actual data, we need to use response.json. Let me do that. Let me define another variable which is user underscore data, and I will take this response and I use a JSON method on it. Now let's print this user data variable. So here we got the whole data. So basically in this scenario, what happens here is the server sends JSON data and Python automatically converts it into a dictionary and list. Now here comes another question, that how we can access any specific value. You can consider this whole user data result as a set of list dictionary. How we iterate our dictionary, in the same manner we need to iterate our result. Let me show you another example here. Let's take an example where I need to fetch this name value which is Lenny Graham. How I will access this? I will simply write print, then I will take my user data. In the user data, I will first take the first object. So initially this is a list. In the list, I am going to take my first dictionary object which is this one, So I'm using square brackets, and in this, to fetch the first object, I am using 0. Now my first object is a dictionary, and in the dictionary I need to fetch the name field. So I'm again going to use the square brackets. In the square brackets I'm going to mention the name of the key for which I need the value. Let me run this. Let me comment the previous print statement so that you can see the clear result. Let me clear the screen and run the code. So here we got our username. So this is how applications displays usernames, shows weather data, renders dashboards, and work with external services. Now here is something important. Making API calls is easy, but making reliable API calls is where the real backend engineering begins. So in the next video, we are going to show you how professional developers actually handle API failures, timeouts, exceptions, and multiple reliable network issues. So now you officially know how to call APIs in Python, and trust me, this is one of the most important skills in modern development. So thank you so much for watching this video. If you really like this video, you can subscribe to our YouTube channel, and if you have any suggestions, you can pin down those suggestions in the comment box, or you can email us at the given email ID. Thank you so much for watching this video. We are going to meet you in the next one.